Everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuits. And I have myself here a CD. I'm sacrificing Metal Mania today. I don't even have a CD player. It's all good. I don't plan on buying one. I listen to everything online now. I'm lazy and it's just very convenient. So I'm prepping this surface to glue cardboard to it. And the more grooves you have, the better chance you have of your stuff sticking. Okay. I'm going to get a little bit of super glue here in the middle. And then I'm going to use hot glue to go around the outside, around the outside, around the outside, like that. And then around the inside. Like that. I'm going to get my cardboard piece on here, just like that. And I'm going to cut around the outside here with my knife, which is super fucking dull. Excuse my French. Yes, I do occasionally speak French. Je ne parle pas le français. But, I'm not what you'd call fluent. No, very fluent in that context. Just get another pass since my knife's dull as shiznizzle. Okay, sweet. Got a little extra piece there sticking out. I don't like it. I'm gonna cut her off with a pair of skizzers. So I want this to be kind of interesting, so I'm gonna do some cuts that way. Then I'm going to get some pieces of cardstock if I can find some. Don't I have cardstock laying around this piece? Oh, that's right. I got this giant Rice Krispie Treats box with lots of cardstock. Now this is a very thin, crappy cardstock. It's not as good as cereal box, but it'll do what we need it to for this project. If my knife will cut it. Alright, so we're just going to cut a piece off to get started. Just like that. We're just going to make some panels that we can quickly glue on to make the base a little more interesting. What I'm making is like a silo, or a fuel, more of a fuel tank, I guess, kind of deal, but it's gonna be vertical. And we're gonna try to use garbage predominantly, and maybe a little bit of granny grading. Okay. Now I have this Purolene container, and if you're gonna use something like this, you're gonna need to prep it. So I'm going to get a sanding block here, if I can find one. Here's one. And I'm going to hit this so the stuff sticks to it, okay? It doesn't have to be amazingly sanded, but you just want to make sure it's got enough where things will bond, because the clear coat they put on the outside, this is super duper. So then I want to put this on here, and you would think, oh, you want to center that on there. Let's bring this up a little bit. But I don't want it centered. I want it towards the back, because I want usable area on here. So I'm going to get a little bit of glue to kind of knock it in place where I want it to sit. Slide it around a tad. Then I'm going to get glue. I'm going to go around the base and try to get a decent bond. Just like that. And the backside's a little dodgy. That's alright. So now I have this nice structure here. What I want to do is I want to build up some layers that it looks like you can climb up here. So what I'm going to do that is I'm going to get some cardboard and some scissors, I guess, because that'd be easiest. And I'm going to make some platforms that I can mount to the side. And I'm just going to eyeball this the best I can. If I had the lid, I could use it to make a template of how these angled, and I could cut them nicer, but I don't. And I didn't think to use the actual Purine thing before I did it. But it's not too late. I'll just flip this around. I'll get myself a marker. Just like that. To do. And I'll cut that out. Just like that. And then, there we go. That'll do what I want. I'm going to stick that on there just like that. Make it kind of up and downy. Or as some people use the term, horizontal to the ground. Let me get a little more into there. Now, what would hold something like this up? Well, let's use some skewers. These aren't really garbage, but they're easy to get. And they make really good kind of support pieces. I'm just cutting random heights because I don't want this to look like it was part of the original construction. I want this to look like somebody came along later and added this. And that's going to make that first one sturdy. Then I want to make another one. Okay. And I'm just going to cut that out. And do the same thing over here. Get a little bit of glue. And you're saying, oh, but Doom, it's all bent and warped. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's going to look all right, guys. Calm your nuts. Cut some supports. Two per side should be good, I'm guessing. And it just so happens I lucked out and cut that at a height that's usable. Whoa, look at that crap. Fell right down. Okay. Oh, come on, you. Okay. Let's do another layer up there, maybe. That's the way I want to sit, yeah. Okay. Look at that. Y'all want to hear my remix of D12s? These chicks don't know the name of my band. These chicks don't know the name of my band. They're all up on me like they want to hold hands. When I blow, they know that I'll be the man. All because I'm the lead singer of my band. Alright, so we need a piece of this stuff here to be like a brace instead of a support. It's going to have to come back at an angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut two pieces of that. About the same length maybe. And I'm going to come here. I'm going to stick that to there like that. And to do that, I'm just going to get a dibby dab there. And a dibby dab there. Just like that. And then I need a ladder going up the middle to make my ladder, all I'm going to do is cut random pieces of garbage and toothpicks and stuff and make the ladders glued directly to the structure itself. Okay. Let me get some toothpicks because that's going to be a primary source. I just got a hot glue gun wire stuck between my fingers. It happens. Okay. So to make these, I'm just going to let me put my marker away. I don't want that drying out. So I'm just going to get a bunch of toothpicks. And it's good to save the ends of these, especially if you're making robots and stuff. They're super useful for making tiny fingers and crap. I don't know how many I'm going to need. I'm going to start with 4 toothpicks worth, which is 8 ladders, rungs. And then I'm going to kind of see what else I have that I can use. Okay, so let's get this kind of positions where we can see what we're doing. And we'll start at the bottom here. Just like that. And I'm just going to do them about every ½ inch, eyeballing it. I could measure, I guess, but how fun would that be? I don't want the next one to be a regular, same as everything else, so I have a piece of paintbrush from what I used earlier. It's going to be thicker and nonsensical with the rest of it, but it's going to help my improvised structure kind of look I'm going for. Then I have a piece of a broken cocktail skewer. It'll make a nice addition. Then I'm just going to cut a thin piece of cardboard to be this one. That one's way too low. I'm just going to drag that up. And then one at the top. Just like that. And I have my nice little ladder. Now we want these pieces here to be sturdy and safe, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of old paintbrush and I'm just going to snip some more railing pieces, and I'm just going to glue those into place like this. Get a glue stick. I'm getting low on my glue sticks, yo. Okay. Then I need another piece for this corner over here. I'm going to put this one on top. Kind of like at an angle sticking out, because this platform, this cardboard's been a little bit right there. And then I'm going to come up here and notice up here I don't have anything for railings at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a piece of sprue and put it here on the corner, kind of rub it around and get it into shape. And hopefully I can get it to be sturdy if I just take my time. Okay. Take my time, twist it how I want it to sit, and let it cool. Now, as I get more railing build up, it will get sturdier, inevitably. Okay. For this corner over here, I'm just going to use whatever this piece of sprue I have. Alright, for that platform on the top, probably the easiest thing to do would be to draw my circle. And then see how, when that's sitting on top of there, how much overlap I have to worry about. So I have some overlap here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to trim off to where that's not being a nuisance. I had that there. But that's not being a nuisance on that side. So what I'm going to do is just kind of get that like that. Let me get some glue. To hold that in place like that. Then I'll flip it over, get a good bond underneath. So this doesn't feel like it can come off. Okay. Then up here, I want to have a little bit more walkway. I'm going to throw some granny grating on it somewhere. And to do that, I'm just going to get this piece here that I have already all ripped up. And I want to sturdify this. That's a technical term. So to sturdify this, I'm just going to get a straight edge. I'm just going to cut some thin strips. 3 should do it. And I'm going to glue that on my granny grating just like that. Okay. It's going to go over the sides a little bit. I'm not sweating that really. Okay. Just like that. I'm going to snip off that excess. And I'm going to cut some pieces for the interior of that. Just like that. Okay. How we doing there? Looks like it's going to be all right. We'll throw one in the middle here too. How was it? Doesn't have to be exactly in the middle, just kind of in the middle. Okay. Something like that. Then we can extend our platform out in any direction we really want to, however we want to. what I want to do is I want to mount mine kind of to the edge there. So to do that first, I'm going to snip some popsicle sticks. I'm going to glue a little bit there. I'm going to twist that back and forth to get a good bond. Just like that. And I'm going to do that same thing over this way. Get a good bond. Then I'm going to stick my piece on there that way. I'm just going to get a little glue on the side here so I know it sticks. Just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to come up underneath here. Just like this. Get a little bit of that glue on there. Smush that down some. Then I'm going to get a little bit here like this and just make it a weld point. Okay. So I need railings up top so that my people don't go flying off, my miniatures don't get hurt. So to do my railings up top, I don't want to lay this down yet while that's still cooling. To do my railings, I'm just going to start with some simple toothpick stuff. Okay. And all I'm doing is kitting out the railing, the uprights for railings. That's all I'm doing. We don't want anybody falling off here. That's all. We want our miniatures to be safe. That's all. Nothing spectacular going on. Just protecting the sanctity of our miniatures. I want a spacer in the back here. That's a big gap, so I'm just going to get some glue. Stick this on here best I can. Okay. We need a railing over here too, probably. So to do my railings, I'm just going to cut some thin cardboard. I know this is all kind of looking the same. I apologize for that. I'm not sure if I should be using different colors of cardboard as I'm working so you can see what I'm doing maybe. I don't know. Alright, that should be enough to hold us over for a minute or two. Hang on, square up. And then we want to cut these, we want to mount these in a way that they're going to hold. But first I want to kind of come in here and sturdy this up and make this look like junky welded metal while I'm at it. That's just going to add a ton more strength to these. And a little globs of glue won't ruin our craft much, because scrappers and wild people that live in the scrap lands took the time to make this stuff, not licensed professionals. Okay. Now this should be starting to cool. And what we're going to do is we're just going to come along the back here 1 dab, drag it a little bit, 2 dab, 3 dab, and then we'll just snip off the excess with our scissors. Just like that. To do this curved portion, we're just going to curve this a little bit first. 1 dab. We'll smear it a little bit to get it started. Okay. And these railings don't have to be all the same height or level in any form. Just build them. Just make them work. Okay. Something like that. Snip off my excess here with the scissors. Just like that. We got a lot of spider webs on this bad boy. We're going to come over here and do this side. Smear. Just like that. Let's go. It won't fit, it's not long enough. We'll have to use a bigger one. Oops. Alright, let's just keep building this up. Now that back side over there, it doesn't need to go all the way to the back. No miniature can get back there anyways. Okay. Let's cut some more of those real quick. Oh, we got one right here I didn't use yet. Let's see if this is wide enough for any of the pieces we have, any of the gaps we have left over. This one is. Okay. So you can see what we have going on here. There's just multiple layers of railings and catwalks. Okay. We have to do another catwalk over here. And no miniature can get back there, so we can leave that open. And this is that side that's bent down. So what I want to do is I want to kind of ruin my railing a little bit there. So to do that, I just bent my cardboard and tore off the edge. Okay. Then I'm going to use this side here. And do something similar. Okay. Now we have a lot of spider webs here to deal with. Deal with spider webs. I just use this minor burning hand spell. Or maybe since this is a futuristic kind of deal, instead of being a minor burning hand spell, maybe it's my plasma cutter. Alright, we have a lot of spider webs still here probably that I didn't see or I don't see right now, but we'll get them later. Let's get some more interest piece stuff on here. So let's try to make each one of these platforms have at least one kind of decorative piece on it. You know, just something to, so it doesn't look like a perfectly smooth platform, basically. And I like making this shape because it reminds me of some kind of Star Wars panel. Okay, This railing, this platform feels a little weak, so I'm just going to get some more glue and sturdy those up while I'm at it. This one seems sturdy though. I don't know. I just don't want anything to be weak. I want it all to be good and strong, and we need to do something to scuzz this one up and make it look a little dumpy. This should do the job. You could do more than one. You could do smaller ones, but just generally I think one will be enough in most cases. I'm going to do an extra one on here just because. Okay. Now I do know we need a railing here, but I don't want to do my railing the same way. So what I'm going to do this time for my railing is I'm going to cut some of these pieces. I think 3 should do it, really. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to cut some railings out of this, and I want them to be about the same height. I want this one to look a little more like a railing that's supposed to be there. Instead of one that's been haphazardly constructed by crazy people. So I have 4 pieces here of this. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get glue, pick that to the bottom and walk it up so it's sturdy and straight up and down, just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to, oops, that one's leaning a little bit. Then I'm going to get a little bit here, a little bit here. I'm going to mount this thing so it's nice and square. I'm going to cut this in half. I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay. I'm going to mount that so it's nice and flush. Not crazy looking. A little bit there. A little bit there. Come out to the edge. Get a nice square fit. Just like that. Something like that. And then I want this to look a little sturdier. This is a little floppy and flimsy still. And I know super glue would fix it right up, but what I want to do is I want to build a little countertop that sits on there. I think this piece would be just perfect. That would be better as a no-kick plate too, though, which I think I'm going to use it for that. When I say no-kick plate, oh, they still ended up being crooked because that one was low. Oh well. No biggie, my dudes. OSHA makes you put like a thing that makes you not kick tools off the edge of shit because OSHA knows all. And I think that that reminds me of that. That's all. We'll do one across the back here too. Is this big enough? It is. My attempt to make this perfect was on the back here. It looks like I was crooked as shit. Maybe I should have twisted it around a few different ways first before I determined it was straight, because that did not come out straight in the least. It's definitely going to make my railing sturdier. Yeah, my whole platform's sturdier now. I do want to do a piece going down there for support. And I don't know how I want to do that exactly. Do I have any skewer laying around still? Let me get another piece of skewer. Fortunately, skewers are pretty cheap, so I can get a lot of use out of a bag of skewers. They last me quite a while. Okay, so I want to kind of have that going up like that. Okay. Like that. And we'll twist that a little bit, move it around. All right, cool, 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 cool. All right, you could totally be done at this point. This right here, you could be done, and you got a big piece that's going to be sturdy that can hold a ton of minis. Let me show you a miniature on here to show you. I mean, you got room on every platform for at least 2 or 3 minis. Plenty on top. But I'm not quite done. So the next thing I want is some kind of wire or cable. This is from a phone charger. And I'm just going to cut some of this in a couple different pieces. I'm just going to get 3 pieces for now. And I want to make some kind of like interesting dealy bob with this. So get this warm, kind of bend it and twist it a little bit so it has a little uniqueness, or at least so it has a more play, if nothing else. And then I want to kind of connect my levels. No, you know what, fuck that. I don't like that idea. I liked it in my head, but no, I don't like it in practicality. So let's add some garbage and certify this thing some more. So maybe these are a proud people that not only do they like living in garbage, but they like decorating with garbage. So I'm going to put some pieces of our cutoffs on here in different ways. As random 3D art. Maybe they're collecting garbage from the scraplands that's different colors or is attractive, and they're affixing it to their dwelling. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm going to bend this one a little bit before I put it on there, so it's got a little bit of a 3D kind of thing going on there. Something like that. You could spend as much time and effort on this part as you wanted, and you could get a cool result every time. You could build that exact same structure, and just by the amount of crap you stuck to it, make like 50 different dealy bobs. I don't know if I have any more of these small Purelene tins. I do like these Purelenes. I like the dark chocolate ones and the vanilla ones. Now look at this giant piece here. This isn't going to be able to mount in any kind of traditional fashion. So what I'm going to do, So I'm just going to get these sticks and put them in like that. I'm going to snip those off at kind of a flat there. I'm going to get a little bit of glue on either side of that, just so it doesn't come out. Sturdify this, technical term of course. And then I'm going to mount that there. And that's just going to make like a, maybe that's their banner or some shit, you know. I'm going to cut a piece of cardstock, glue that across that. Just like that. And then I'll come back and snip off that excess. And we just throw some more decorations on here with some of the scrap. To show that these are a celebrated people that love garbage. Maybe a piece hanging there. They're just welding and bolting this shit however they can. Just trying to show that this is their place and they have pride in it. You know, the Ravengers, not Ravagers, Ravengers is what I call these people. They have the intelligence of someone who's, you know, not functioning. They melt plastic like milk jugs and stuff to themselves as like armor and protection and decoration. They are not what you would call well-adjusted people. They find technology and the biggest, scariest weapons they can find, and often they die until somebody figures out how they work, and they just don't care because they don't have any value on human life. They just don't care at all because it's culturally they're not developed like everybody else. They've like gone backwards. They've become more barbaric, and that's acceptable. Right as might and that kind of stuff. They may or may not have appreciation for intelligent people. Really just depends on their mood, I suppose. This is a piece of paintbrush I cut off from a project I was doing earlier. I'm just going to hang that there like a decoration. And then I have these kind of things here. These Wurstwurst or appetizer spikes. I'm just going to add one on here for decoration on this back side. And then I think it would be cool to have a flagpole or something for these people. So what I'm going to do, maybe there, maybe here. I don't know. I want to put a flag for them. I don't want to make terrain so tall I can't put it on a shelf. And then for their banner, I'm going to wrap that around like that. I'm just going to smear that together and get it good and stuck. Okay. Now let's clear off our last round of spider webs. And maybe let's throw some skulls on here. If I have any skull beads or anything. Look, we lost a stair down here. Too easy. We're just going to re-glue it. Okay. Because we are going to come back and we're going to super glue some of this stuff to make sure nothing comes loose, because otherwise we're going to be in a world of sad, because this stuff will come loose. We will lose pieces. This will fall apart. Okay, we have a couple things to do. We got to snip off those pieces there. Boop. Boop. We got to get some super glue. And one of the things we want to do with super glue is we want to make sure this flag is sturdy and permanent. Now, super glue seeps, soaks. I don't know how much super glue I have left in this one, actually. It might not be a whole ton. But that's going to make this sturdy and last forever. Then we want to get it on each one of these steps, because we know they're just glued to that metal. We want this to be there forever home. And we know this needs to be sturdy. So we're going to get some baking soda on each one of those to kind of make that forever home. Okay. Oh, but no. My flag got stuck. And then you just want to go around in places where you're worried about weakness or you're worried about stuff not being sturdy. You just want to get a dab of glue on there. And places where I might be picking it up by are kind of my big concern at the moment. I might be lifting it by some of these platforms or railings. So I'm just going to get some baking soda. Kind of make sure everything's attached how I want it to be. And a little bit of baking soda goes a long way on that kind of stuff. Drop it in there. Get a little more. Okay. And a little bit of baking soda on these railings. Make them a forever home for sure. Now down here on the base, it would not be unwise to, on each one of these, get some baking soda on there and make sure you have a good bond. That would not be unwise. Oh no, big chunk of baking soda right under my fingernail. Oh, that's hot and it hurts. Oh, dang it. I'm always warning myself to be careful in my head, and then I get excited, and then I get giant chunks of super glue and baking soda burning under my nail, as one does. Okay, so over here I got some, that's where I just got that on my nail from. That's how I knew it was there. And I'm going to get some here. I'm going to hit this with a hairdryer. And all I'm doing with the hairdryer is just knocking off baking soda, really. Nothing too spectacular. Then we'll come back and take a look at this before I paint it. And then we'll make a part two. I'm going to take a little break, get a drink and stuff. It was kind of a longer build, but it's a big build. And it's a lot of fun. So, here it is. The storage tank tower. You know what? Let's get a little piece of cardstock and make a panel on the back. which makes no sense at this point. So I'm just going to get right at about head level there. Get this cardstock and push that on there. Just like that. And then later that's going to be a control panel. Let me glue that a little better. There we go. Okay. And that's just going to be... All right. Everything's sturdy. Everything seems sturdy. That one's a little bit loose. That one has a little bit of give. Okay. So to paint this, all I'm going to do is get this, make an extra hot glue on there that I can peel off later. Grab my structure, set it on there kind of off center, and then I'm going to have a base to hold it by, a handle to hold it by while I spray paint it. If you guys want to take a look at it again real quick, it looks like this. If you like what I'm doing here on the channel, please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, and leave a comment. I like the comments the best because I can interact with those. Even if I just say cool or thank you, just know that I read the comment and I appreciate the interaction. And I think that is probably a better measure of the quality of a video, is that somebody was like, took the time to say something than just clicking a button. I don't know. I don't know anything about the algorithm, and I don't know shit. But that's, you know, just a thought I have. Normally putting some garbage scatter on the base would be good, but I want to have as much room as possible for bad guys to walk around down there, so I'm not going to do that this time. So anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.